wake up, you could like pick the bits out of your teeth with your tongue and get another little snack. Welcome back to Podcast the Hero.
Yeah, hey.
This episode is brought to you, as always, by our sponsors. Cornbot is the robot, corn robot.
And Pepsi, brought to you.
It's brought to you by Pepsi?
This podcast, yeah. I thought you guys were sponsored by Pepsi. All of these opinions and expressions are shared by the Pepsi Corporation.
I didn't know that. It's all. We're also sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress. If you like podcasts, obviously you're listening to this one, so you must, because this is like the lowest level podcast like you could like. Like most podcasts are much better than this podcast. So if you're listening to this, you must really like podcasts.
Yeah.
So if you like podcasts, you should listen to Absolutely the Best Podcast because they rank things. They're ranking all the best stuff.
Is that like a partner podcast? No. It's just somebody who is a fan of our podcast, and they have a podcast, and they wanted to sponsor us. That's cool.
Yeah, that's
cool. There's a company. There's a company I heard about a while ago and found online that I think would be a good partnership for a sponsorship with you guys. It's a company called Manhood Canada, and they do synthetic like foreskins. So you can wear, like, they sell foreskins that made like cloth. I don't know what exactly they're made of, but you can affix it to your wiener and relive your first 4 hours on the planet, you know. But I think it'd be a great. I mean, if I knew how to get the ball rolling on that, I'd help you guys get a Manhood Canada sponsorship. But I mean, you know, they're like leading the foreskin game right now, and I think
they're first in foreskin.
First and foremost.
First and foremost in foreskin.
In foreskin.
Oh man, if I were them, I would also be making merkins.
Oh, for sure.
This episode is also brought to you by our patrons, and this is the part where I do the list. Top of the list, Absolutely the Best Podcast, Work in Progress. Ashwin, Brett. Buttholes are the brown eye to the soul. I'm so excited for I'm so excited for the Omaha show, and I'm bringing 2 people along. I'll fart test your rat cast. Okay. And Steven Exposure, Julia, High Tops, Rob the Anti-Human, Rhodey Loves My Dink, Swaddle Me in a Native Blanket and Spoon Me, The Fat Brown Kid, Zach, A Common Thread, A Single Ingrown Pubic Hair, Dave the Film Guy, Deconomist, Dimitri, Timpod the Picklecast Sack, Fire Fee, Foolish Bale, Mitch, who I've now met a bunch of times.
Yeah, I met him the other night.
Mitch the other night.
He's super nice.
And every time Mitch comes up to me, he's like, "Is Mitch?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I know." So bad at remember like faces and names. Like I'm like, I know this guy. I have no idea what his name is right now. Progtoff. Sex makes me fart, and no, I won't go to the doctor. Spickoff, Yuri, Aaron, Allie, Benjamin, Bud the Crud from the Bright Red Mud, Bob, Burrito, I like that one, Butthole, Dale Earnshart. I have a written list of funny names, and this is one of them. Jake, Jeffrey, Yo, Josh, Cage, Pandas, Mason, Michael, Peggy Thrill, Roscoe, Sebastodon, Sheldon, Source the Odd. I gotta get to the next page. Taylor, TBJ, The Final Dan, the letter A and the number 5. Okay. This is Rhodey's neighbor, and that very rude song better not be about me. Thomas Viva Hate, Yes, I Be a Newfoundlander by Zane, and Big Forearms, Bigger Buttholes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that name. It implies some stuff.
Mm-hmm. It implies, I mean, how do you get the bigger butthole? By putting the bigger forearm in the butthole.
All you have to do is believe.
and lube.
Yes.
I just noticed that I'm decked out in all Pistons gear today, and the Pistons were knocked out of the playoffs recently. So maybe I'm just like repping the team. It's not on purpose.
It wasn't intentional?
No, I just grabbed a shirt, and it happened to be a Piston shirt, and then I grabbed a black hat, and it happened to be my Pistons hat. I did not do this on purpose.
Oh. You just effortlessly are
effortless.
You got
What's the word?
Effortlessly.
Coordinated my outfit in that way.
They just look awesome naturally.
It's just that I have all of my clothes are Pistons clothes.
You just roll out of bed rad as hell every day.
I don't have any other clothes that isn't Pistons branded clothes.
Yeah.
No, that's not true at all. This is literally the only Pistons clothes I own, and they happen to get on me at the same time. We're joined today by the Lord Guitarhorse, Guitarzan, Mike, who goes by many names.
Yeah.
Friend of the podcast, friend in real life. And the reason we're doing this is because Rhodey decided to go away. He just decided he didn't want to do this. So he's gone. I don't have any way to get in touch with him. Other than texts or phone calls or email.
Yeah,
or Discord or Instagram.
Right. But other than all those ways, I don't have any way to get in touch with him. Yeah. Yeah. So unless you decide to jump through all the hoops and use some archaic form of communication to try and get a hold of him, we just have to assume that he's gone.
Yeah.
He's done.
He might not even exist. There's a distinct possibility that all along he's just been a figment of my imagination.
That's what I said I said something like that the last podcast. I've never seen you and him in the same room. You're the same person.
He's my Tyler Durden.
Just you AI'd him.
Mm-hmm. He is my Tyler Durden. It's just me. I'm recording both sides of the conversation on every episode of this podcast. It's just me, and then I record the other side of it separately.
Right. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. But you know what? It's worth it because people really like it. Like 25 of you really love this podcast.
Tens of people.
Tens
of fans.
Yeah.
No, it's a great cast. It's a great cast.
There are 60 subscribers. That's pretty good. 60 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this podcast enough to give us money. There are a lot of also free members, people who follow the Patreon but don't subscribe. And then I'm sure there's a vast majority of people who don't like Patreon and don't care that much about like that kind of thing, which is fine. Like, it's how NPR works, right?
Yeah.
For Canadians, NPR is our national public radio, which is about to be destroyed by the Orange Man. They're cutting funding to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting because you don't want independent journalism anywhere. If you're a fascist, you need to control the means of media and communication. So get rid of the people that do investigative journalism and all that stuff.
Didn't I thought, no, I could be wrong, but I thought it wasn't like a majority of NPR's funding coming from.
Comes from listeners.
Listeners.
The vast majority comes from listeners and from underwriting.
Okay.
Which is essentially advertising, like companies and organizations, a lot of charitable organizations underwrite. It's essentially like this, NPR is underwritten by, the so-and-so foundation, whatever. You don't play an ad, but you just read their name, right?
Oh, okay, yeah,
That
gotcha.
kind of thing. So PBS is the same way. But they do get, PBS gets 20% of their funding from the corporation for public broadcasting, and NPR gets like 15%. That's like the national folks, and then like the local stations all get 10 to 15% from government funding, and the rest of like local station support is through grants, support from charitable organizations, and then member, like, listener donations. That's why they have fund drives.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
fun drives, but
No.
fund drives
No.
all the time, because they got to raise that money. Anyway,
So what happens when the funding get cut? Where are we going to get all our reporting that sounds like it was whispered in a library? They all whisper. They're all very soft spoken.
right. Yeah.
Kind of
Where are they going to get
sensual.
it? I think probably just more listener funding, more fund drives,
Yeah.
more, reaching out to the community to make up that difference.
Okay.
I don't think it'll ever go away. I think once the public money is cut off from it, like the federal money, you may see a little less kowtowing, a little less, like trying to be super balanced, which is what like public broadcasting really tries to do, is be as balanced as possible.
Sure.
You might see a little less of that, I would think. But I don't know. The purpose of this episode is not to talk about the federal government and PBS. It's to talk about Protest the Hero, that band that this podcast is about. Like, Podcast the Hero. Like, that's a take on the name of the band, Protest the Hero. I don't know if anybody caught that.
I never put two and two together.
Yeah. So this is a Protest the Hero podcast. And Protest the Hero.
Yeah, I was wondering why we always ended up talking about them every time I come on.
It's just because I like them.
You just like them.
Yeah, I just like them. Huge crush on the bass player. The boys are on tour.
Indeed.
Right now, supporting BTBAM, which it stands for that, Between the Buried and Me. I didn't realize I was so integral to that band.
That you were?
Yeah, because they're between the buried and me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So wherever there's buried stuff, find somebody buried, find me, and in between those two spots, you will find that band.
That's crazy.
Isn't that fucked?
Isn't it? They really get in your head that way.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Right.
So yeah, they're out on tour. BTBAM is playing all of what's that one record?
Coma, Ecliptic,
and also Alaska.
Yeah.
It's a very long set.
It's yeah.
It's like a marathon, I would think. Like, that's 2 records. Like, I understand like doing one record, playing the whole record, and then like do a little like encore kind of thing.
Right.
2 records?
Nobody's ever done that.
And also they're a prog band, which means they use a ton of notes.
As you might say, all of
them. I mean, you think they just have to go immediately after and just like ice their fingers? Just a whole hands in buckets of ice and just like,
just cry. Yeah. Oh. Cryo chamber.
Yeah. I mean, how do you do it night after night after night?
I don't know
either. So Protest is in support of BTBAM on this. They're playing a roughly 40-minute set. There will be set spoilers in this episode, so if you are going to a future show, pause, come back to it when you're done with the show. Because we're going to talk about the songs in the set. We're going to talk about what they played. We're going to talk about our experience seeing them live, which happened. That was the night before last?
It was Thursday.
It was
Thursday
Thursday.
Night. Yeah, 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. But it would be no, it was 2 nights ago for us from right now. Not 2 nights ago from when this episode is released, and definitely not 2 nights ago from when you're actually listening to this episode 3 or 4 months from now.
Right.
It's definitely not 2 nights ago from then.
Right. We're time traveling right now. I saw them warm up for this in Tilsonburg. Mm-hmm.
And they played Skies, I think, in the middle. They might have even opened with it.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because they always close with Skies.
Really?
So the set list that they played in Tilsonburg, very different than the set list that they played when we saw them 2 days ago.
What one did they
38 days ago.
Did they close with that one? With Skies?
They closed with Skies.
Okay.
Which is like they always close with Skies.
Sure.
First of all, let's talk about how our little date went. We went and ate a pizza.
Yeah.
It was very good pizza. What was the name of that place?
It's a place in Grand Rapids called Pepino's.
Pepino's.
Yes.
It was delicious. Very good. It was a chicken Alfredo.
Yeah, we crushed a 14-inch chicken Alfredo pizza and then went and stood in general admission for a heavy metal show.
Yeah.
It
was dicey.
It was great.
But it was wonderful. That chicken, or that Alfredo, was very scared. It was chicken Alfredo. It was very good. It was minutes, less than 5-minute walk from the venue.
Yeah.
So if you're in Grand Rapids, what else was happening in Grand Rapids that night? There was something else big happening in adjacent to where we were.
Yeah. Right across the street at the Van Andel Arena, Linkin Park was playing.
Now,
we couldn't get tickets, so we had to.
Linkin Park is not my favorite band. In fact, Linkin Park is in my top 5 least favorite bands, with Sugar Ray, Aerosmith, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I don't know. Name another band. I probably hate them.
Muse. No, not Muse. Muse is good. Radiohead.
I like that one Radiohead song. 'Cause I'm a creep.
Oh yeah.
That one. That's a banger of I think. I'm trying to see who they played with. Who did Linkin Park play with at that show? At Van Andel Arena. Does it say on Ticketmaster? Linkin Park, Van Andel Arena. More info. Grandson. I don't know that I've ever heard of Grandson.
I've never heard of them either.
Grandson. American Canadian singer-songwriter. Grandson.
So they just had someone with an acoustic guitar up there?
He's also a rapper. Grandson is a person with 3 first names: Jordan, Edward, Benjamin.
Ew, get him out of here.
Yeah, 3 first names. Horrible. There's a photo of him. Oh, he's got some face paint on. This does not look like something I would be into whatsoever. But I'm
Is-
not into Linkin Park either, so whatever. But
is-
a lot of people really love Linkin Park.
yeah,
Like, love them. Formative for them.
right.
All-time favorite band of theirs.
Yeah, that's just, like
I generally try not to associate with any of those people. I typically lump Linkin Park fans in with people who really like Korn, Limp Bizkit, and Kid Rock.
Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I gotta say, this new reincarnation of Limp Bizkit kind of fucking rules. Like, I really like the whole self-awareness of it,
Mm.
And it's a little ironic, I suppose, and whatever, they're kind of hamming up that whole shtick, but, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun now.
Is it fun now? It
it's
doesn't take itself seriously anymore?
right. It wasn't fun back in the day, when when nu metal was popping off in the early aughts,
Mm-hmm.
and Linkin Park, but they were the butt of the joke,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't cutting it. They weren't cutting the cheese. That's not what we say.
Cut the mustard?
They weren't cutting the mustard. That one.
You don't need to cut mustard. Like,
it's
it's like fluid.
yeah.
You don't need to cut it.
Right. That's a silly.
Linkin Park wasn't cutting it?
No, Limp Bizkit back in the day. But I'm saying,
well, they had a Fred Durst is the singer of the worst lyric of all time. I assume he wrote it, but the worst song lyric of all time is "Hey kid, take my advice. You don't want to step into a big pile of shit."
I mean,
that's a lyric to a song. It's right up there with Will Smith, "I got a bag with a lot of stuff in it."
That's a pretty good line. That's a pretty good line.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So anyway, Linkin Park was going on.
Yeah.
It was a fun little game for us to try and determine Linkin Park fan versus BTBAM fan in public, because there were just people all over the place. And it's like, are these people going to finish up their sandwiches and go see Linkin Park, or are they going to go see BTBAM? The key was finding bald spots and beards. Bald spots and beards, BTBAM, all the way.
Yep. Beard with glasses like ours.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, absolute between the buried and me fan.
Yeah.
Any
there were a lot of like fishnet arm sleeve things, like fishnet sleeve.
You saw that, yeah, for the Linkin Park crowd?
Linkin Park crowd.
Yeah.
Rocking a lot of like fishnet arm sleeves.
Right. And I was starting to see too, like Linkin Park Hybrid Theory came out when I was in like a 9th grade, like freshman in high school. And so that was like all the kids in my age demographic really got into Linkin Park. And so now that they've aged, I was expecting to see more like moms in their 40s, like the type of moms you'd see at a Jimmy Buffett concert 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah. Just kind of the same thing, just a little newer with a different band, but I saw like families and stuff too.
Yeah. There were a lot of like dads taking their kids
right
to see it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that album came out in 2000, so I was a sophomore in college when that came out. Yeah. No, it's not for me. Anyway, that was an interesting experiment to see what was going on.
Right.
So then we went over to the venue and Protest played 8 songs.
Yeah.
And I thought they were great. Now I'm a fan of the band. I'm friends with the guys in the band. I have seen them play worse shows.
Mm-hmm.
This show was pretty good. It was pretty up there. There was a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodey in particular had a ton of energy.
Yeah.
He said it was because he was getting hockey updates from the Leafs game against Ottawa, and he saw the Leafs score a couple times while he was up there, and that really pumped him up a lot. And but he was moving.
Yeah.
Take a look at the thumbnail once this gets posted. But like he was doing jumps and kicks and all kinds of stuff. He was really into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He
it's
has
good.
he has ups.
Yeah, he does. He can get up.
He's got mad ups, dude.
Yeah.
I saw him take a jump, and all I could think about were the 2 compression fractures I have in my spine.
They kicked off the set with Blood Meat,
Yep.
which that's a banger to open with, right?
Yeah.
And then just blow it out of the water right there.
Well, that and just, get that one right out of the way.
Get it done.
You've
played it at almost every show. They did leave it off one tour, and they were all freaked out, and then they then they were like, yeah, we got to put it back in the set. So they started with Blood Meat. Obviously everybody was super into that. Followed by Drumhead Trial, which I'm so glad Drumhead Trial's in sets now because that song fucking rips.
Mm-hmm.
They did All Hands, which is pretty much that's kind of a staple these days of protest sets. Like representing palimpsest.
Yeah.
We got the Animorph or human line at the end. Rhodey, I don't think, has ever sang animal or human. It's always been Animorph.
Mm-hmm.
In live settings. And then they've included in this set a song that Rhodey hates. Doesn't like to sing it. It's his least favorite song to perform. I think that's probably changed. I think probably he hates doing A Life Embossed more now.
That controversial one.
Yeah. God,
yeah.
Stupid fucking song. How dare he take a stance on dogs? But they played Blindfolds Aside. I'm really glad it's back in. I know Rhodey says he doesn't like singing it, but man, that fucking song rules. And
why doesn't he like that one? Why doesn't he like singing it?
He says it's like a chore to sing. Like it's a difficult one to get through.
Got it.
So it's not that he doesn't like the song, he just doesn't like to have to perform it because it's hard to do.
It's hard, yeah.
And but like the whole claps at the end, like everybody gets into it. It's fucking great. So putting that in, I think is really I think it is a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah,
and it goes hard live.
Yeah.
So,
Sequoia Throne.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that pops into my head first is Merg playing Sequoia Throne on an acoustic guitar. I was back in the Twitch days. Then the new one.
Yeah.
Some of you have heard it referenced as BQB. Some of you have heard it referenced as Blow Queef's Blow, which is a take on Go Leafs Go. And others have heard the actual title, which is Fishhook. I'm interested to know what you think about it.
What I think about it?
Yeah. What was your impression of it, hearing it live? I've heard it several times now.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess for the impact of like going to see him and like knowing there's new stuff on the way, but you don't normally like unless the album's released, you don't normally get like a little
Yeah.
like you don't normally get anything, but on this run they just they pulled out a new one, and so that's always exciting.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of a band, you go see them, like if they drop something like that, it's great. The song itself rips.
Yeah.
Uh, there's lots of really really sweet guitar harmonies that were really fun to watch. Uh, it seems to be. I only heard it once, and I was trying to like in a live setting, like try and absorb it as best as I
Mm-hmm.
could, and like remember parts and things like that. And but but what I can remember, is like it's a very well composed
Mm-hmm.
song. It's got like all of the standard like peaks and valleys and like climactic things in a PTH song. But it was very, I mean, it was very like it was very musical. I guess I don't know. It was just it was like the composition of it kind of struck out to me. Whatever the arrangement of it, or just the
Yeah.
arrangement of the parts stuck out to me as really really fun. And then I really liked because it kind of drops off at one point, and it's the what is it? It's got like a four non blondes section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's like so live, obviously they're sort of trying to emulate, but it's like an acoustic and piano part
yeah.
in the middle, and then it bangs back into it. The the thing that jumped out to me, um uh it's like has like a major feel to it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it has more of a happy, like the music itself. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of dissonance. It has more of like a major chord feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um Mist is not in this set list.
No.
And I thought that this song, like at least like the vibe of how this song is, and like the sort of the major chord feel to it, like it made sense. Like this could slot into that spot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just from a music sense. I think Mist isn't in the set list because, like, logistically, if you're in support and you have a 40-minute set and you're trying to cram as much as you can into 40 minutes, um, you know, having to switch out guitars and stuff and or retune and that kind of thing
Yeah.
becomes a problem because Mist is in drop D. So if you can have not have to have like second instrument waiting for one song,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. An instrument switch is hard if you're tight.
Yeah.
If you got a tight
Yeah.
time like that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like Fishhook. It's got a really fucking catchy hook to it. Like there's that like dig me out bit like that repeats
Mm-hmm.
multiple times through it, and it's like it's a very catchy hook, which is like Protest is not a hooky kind of band. You know what I mean? Like it's not a
No, you
lot of
don't.
like repetitive hooks
Oh,
in the vocals.
like a big like a big sort of
Like
chorus
right.
part that repeats. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of really uh, catchy vocal
Sure.
parts, I
Oh
think,
yeah.
that like get really really like serious earworm vocal
Mm-hmm.
parts, like usually a big climax in the song or something like that that'll get stuck in my brain for
Yeah.
weeks or months at a time. But yeah,
Right.
I
But
said
they're not
no.
like a repetitive chorus kind of band. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But that hook, and which is funny, the song is called Fish Hook, um, which is not related to that, and it's not related to fishing, but Brody explains it pretty well, and I'll let him explain exactly it on a future episode.
You can make it up. Make something
I
up.
mean, I did see somebody in the Discord say they played the new song. I think the hook is "Fish me out, fish me out, fish me out." But the hook is "Dig me out." But I thought it was appropriate that somebody would hear that live and go, "Yeah, it's called Fish Hook, Fish Me Out."
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Then Bone Marrow. And then Close with Skies.
Yeah.
So 8 songs, plenty of roadie breaks in there to do jokey jokes and story time and that kind of stuff.
His father-in-law built bit
grass
killed.
dad, the grass daddy father-in-law bit killed.
Gold.
Yeah. I feel like that's one that's a story that might come up multiple times on the tour.
I hope so.
Because it really explains Fishhook. It's like part of the story of Fishhook.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I hope people still going will get that story because it's good. It's good.
It's great.
Hey,
I just noticed I don't have a light on in this room.
Okay.
It's getting dark. Is that fine?
I'll light you up.
Okay.
I'll fake light you.
You could fake light me? Because I just had the windows.
Just do some simple video editing. I'll lighten you up a little bit.
All right. Fine. Cool.
Don't worry about it. It's getting to be nighttime.
It is. And I have the windows open, and now I'm starting to look moody.
I'm getting cold. It's getting dark. I don't know what to do. Okay, so that's protest set. I felt like from a musicianship perspective, like Tim, Ben, and Hank really synced really well together. They were moving on stage together. They were doing they felt super comfortable up there. It looked like
it was loose, man. They were really comfy, really loose. Yeah. You know, it's the start of a tour, so they're probably not as they're getting more tight and tightened up and honed in with the material as the nights progress. But yeah, at this point, there were no real lurches or hiccups in the set or playing wise or the technical stuff. And
real good.
Yeah, Ben was super comfy. God, super comfy.
He's just ridiculous.
He's he's awesome.
He's so fucking good.
He might be my new favorite person in the entire world.
He is just the sweetest, nicest guy.
So nice.
Fucking planet.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he rips, dude. Yeah, he's scary good.
Right? Ridiculous.
Yeah. But and seeing the difference. The last time I saw him was at the Halloween Is for Always show out in Detroit. The hottest show ever.
The hottest show ever.
And that was a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. A couple years ago, something.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. And just seeing that the progression from then to now and just the live thing it's leaps and bounds. It was great.
Well, and I think that stage at Elevation in Grand Rapids, having some room, that's a nice size stage.
Yeah.
And having some room to move. I know Rhodey's talked about this before, but he, as a front man, whatever, you need to fill the space. You're a gas. You got to fill the space that's available to you.
Yeah.
Rhodey did that really well, but I also think the rest of the guys did that really well. In Tilsonburg, the stage is a 2-inch little platform off the ground.
Yeah.
And there's these big pillars in the middle of the room, all over the place and at the corners of the stage. And so like Ben and Hank were having to sort of like negotiate this pillar on their side and like sort of like
who gets
coordinate switching spots to like who's hiding behind the pillar to
taking
who's like
turns,
people can actually see.
Taking turns peeking from behind it.
Yeah, exactly. So like this stage is like a perfect size to be able to like move. You know what I mean? It's not quite as big as like say the stage like at History in Toronto. Like that's a pretty big stage.
Yeah.
This is like a little smaller, but also like big enough for them to move. That venue is cool. It's like it's kind of narrow a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the floor is as wide as the stage is essentially.
Right.
But it's pretty long.
And
that place was fucking packed.
It was a lot of dorks.
A ton of dorks
out on the move in GR the other night.
It was pretty cool.
It was packed. Yeah, it's a cool venue, man. Elevation is the lower level venue, a place called the Intersection.
Yeah.
The upstairs is really awesome too.
I think there's like three different size venues in that place.
Yeah.
There's the Intersection is upstairs, and there's Elevation, which is downstairs, and then there's, is it the Mint?
The Stash.
The Stash,
yeah. It's just like a little corner room, sort of a corner bar, like small like stage.
Small space, yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so protest finishes up, tear down real fast, so BTBAM can get going. Because BTBAM's going to be playing for like 9 hours.
They played a Fish set. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was, ridiculous. You and I missed Coma Ecliptic.
A good chunk of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what did we see? Like the last one or two?
I think like the last 3 or 4 songs. We caught like one of the last long ones on the album, and then like I think there are like 2 or 3 short ones that at the tail end that we caught.
Yeah.
So
what were we doing? We ended up watching the Leafs game.
Yeah.
That's what we did while BTBAM was playing their first record. We were just watching hockey on a laptop.
I went to I bought tickets to a concert to watch hockey. Yes.
Yeah. And so we got to watch Rhodey watch hockey. Is essentially what we did. We watched another person watch a hockey game.
Yeah.
And then you got a sneaky peeky at Tim's new guitar.
Yes.
New Kiesel.
Beautiful Kiesel.
It's very sexy.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The color kind of reminds me of like Yoplait blueberry yogurt.
Yeah.
A little bit. It kind of has like a yogurtish vibe to it.
Yeah.
It made me a little peckish while I was looking at it. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty late in the night. I was hungry. It's fine. But yeah, it's beautiful. And he says it's like his backup guitar's backup guitar.
Yeah.
Which is a really
must be nice.
Yeah. But
I think it's just until he gets some hands-on time with it. I think it won't be long before that thing's out there.
I hope
that thing is sexy.
I hope not. That is, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. We got to hang out with all of the boys.
We did.
I think you played a lot of footsie with HK over on that couch.
Yeah, we were rubbing knees together.
Yep, rubbing knees, talking to Ben. So we did all that. We hung out for a while, and then we helped them load stuff into the trailer.
Yes.
And then went back and watched Alaska. And I have to tell you, BTBAM, I'm not like a huge BTBAM fan. I don't not like them,
Mm-hmm.
put on a pretty great show. Their musicianship is pretty insane. Paul Wagner, pretty sick guitar player. Though I never understood the guys that have like if this would make sense for Ben, and I feel like they should get Ben one of those little platforms that Paul kept standing up on at the front of the stage.
Yeah.
Paul's a pretty tall dude.
Yeah.
And every time he stepped up on that platform thing, I thought he was going to bonk his head on the ceiling.
He's Slender Man.
But Ben could use one of those. They should get a little riser for him to go like jump up on the front of the stage and fucking shred.
No, dude, he needs a mini trampoline. A mini trampoline, dude.
Yeah. So I just didn't I never kind of get that. Like, I'm gonna go stand up on this thing and be like, yeah.
Well, it's because if you're ripping a solo and that's like all eyes are on you in that moment, you know, like you want to, it's one, it's part of the show. Two, it's a total ego trip for a guitarist.
That's the thing. It's like the ego thing.
You know, it's like I think every heavy metal lead guitarist, there's that sort of childlike part of them that just imagines playing heavy metal guitar is like doing it shirtless on the side of a mountain, like wind blows your hair and all that sort of shit.
So being Nuno Betancourt.
Yeah, right, yeah, being Nuno. And you know, so I think that's in there, and I think that's part, you know, that's part of it. But you know, the other thing too is, if you're playing the solo, and especially if you're in a prog band where everybody in your audience is
a guitar nerd.
They're not watching you, they're watching your hands.
Your hands. Yeah.
Everybody's got to be able to see it.
There was a dude in Tilsonburg, right? Like Tilsonburg, the stage is so small, like the fans are right up in your face. Right? There's no barrier. There's no nothing. Like you're just hoping that somebody isn't going to just reach out and like touch your shit while you're playing. And Tim was playing, and there's this dude just like, and if this is you, I love you. Just like so close to Tim, like this far from Tim, just staring at Tim's hands. Like just like this, just like right in front of him, just staring, watching so intently what Tim was doing with his hands. And I was just like, that's what guitar nerds are about, right?
I'm extremely jealous of that guy right now.
Yeah.
Whoever that fellow was, man, props. You had the best spot a person could ask for.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed is like obviously BTBAM is touring with a touring guitar player.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They really relegated that dude to the back.
They did. Yeah, a bit. They kind of put him back alongside the drums.
Yeah.
Right next to Blake.
And I was watching, like I had a good angle. And I was like, this dude is doing as much shredding as anybody else on that stage right now. Like,
and they let him go off. Like they gave him his lead parts and stuff.
Yeah. He came up a few times. I saw them let him come up a few times.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But like, to have somebody like with that skill set, right? Like you're BTBAM and you have somebody with that, you could just be like, like hang out back there. That's your spot. That's fine. Like obviously the main BTBAM dudes are going to be front and center.
Yeah.
Right. Like you see all kinds of bands, right, that are out and they have like a third guitar player or whatever touring with them. And that guy just hangs out in the back. Right. It makes sense.
Right.
Man, that dude was fucking shredding hard back there. It was fucking sick.
He was.
I can't remember his name. It's Austin or something.
Yeah, he's I think a pretty young dude too, isn't he? Like early 20s. He's like, isn't he like a social media guy? Like Instagram shredder or something?
Oh, Tristan Allman.
Okay.
Tristan Allman.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
But just really shredding it up. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool too. Like I've seen BTBAM a number of times, a bunch of times now, and all with Dusty, their old guitarist, and he was, live. On the albums, there's all sorts of like dueling guitar harmonies and just all that chaos going on and stuff, and live, Dusty was just pretty much like holding down the rhythm. The rhythm stuff just solid the entire time, but he didn't really like step up to do, he would do some of the harmonies, some of the dueling guitar stuff, but not a lot. But this new guy, like all of the important double guitar part stuff was there. Like, they played Selkies, which is the one everybody loves and everybody knows. And at the end, there's a big counterpoint guitar, or like 2-part guitar solo thing with 2 guitars happening. And normally, whenever I've seen him play it before, it was always just Paul kind of playing one of the parts. But this time they had both parts, and that was really cool to see. And new guy Tristan, that's his name, right?
Yep. Tristan.
Yeah, he hit everything pretty perfectly. So.
Yeah. I also noticed that their bass player,
Dan Briggs.
Dan Briggs.
Mm-hmm.
He not only has his in-ears on, but also then like earphones,
like gun muffles.
Like muffs, like not music earphones, but like noise canceling ear protection, whatever. Like to keep all of the outside sound out. Like, that's got to be such a. I was sitting there watching and going, I wonder what's in his in-ears.
Probably things are probably at such a manageable, like, nice, so safe volume.
Yeah. Like, and like, but I wonder if it's just drums and like a little bit of guitar and a click. Probably. You know what I mean? Like all he's hearing is the drums and playing. He knows all the notes and everything. He doesn't need to hear any of the other parts. Like probably it's just him and a drum kit.
Right.
And a click. Just
Yeah.
Fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
Such I've never experienced playing on in-ears. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I think it would be I'm so interested in that and like what that would be like, because it just seems so different to my experience of we were lucky if we were playing stages that had monitors. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you just have amps behind you.
Just amps behind you. And like hopefully you can hear what's happening on the other side of the stage.
Yeah. I never, in my old band, I was like really pushing the in-ear thing hard.
Yeah.
And then I ended up quitting the band, and I think out of spite, like we never got him. And then out of spite, like a month after I quit the band, like was just chatting with my, my best friend who was still in the band. And he's like, yeah, we just got in-ears. And I was like, son of a bitch. So,
after the show, like they literally played. They didn't stop to talk. BTBAM.
I think they took like one break.
They took one break between albums.
Yeah, and then
one break between the second to last and last song of Alaska. But they didn't stop to like chat. There was no banter. They just fucking played.
There was that one intro that he did where he was like, this is a song I wrote about all the bullies I had growing up.
That was the only thing.
That was, literally.
The entire set.
A 10-second little, hey, how you doing, crowd?
Yeah.
This,
which is so different from Protest, where Rhodey's like, doing his stand-up set up there. So like tight 10-minute stand-up set.
Yeah,
to get in.
He's running 2 or 3 minutes in between each song.
Yeah.
So, but that's cool. Like I mean,
totally different vibes, but like, I mean, like the fact that they didn't take any breaks or anything, they just play. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
that's a lot of music to just play and play and play and play and play and play.
Yeah.
Like musically, those dudes are fit. Like in terms of just like being able to play that stuff, like marathon session.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to do it over and over and over.
Right. And they do that too. I think like whenever they release a new album, I think in their typical fashion is they will tour playing the entire album. You know, so that's their show is you go and you see them play the whole new album. So I got to see them actually play Coma Ecliptic in its entirety in the past. So it was cool to kind of see a lot of that stuff again as well, or catch that stuff, catch what we did of it. But yeah, so that I think it's definitely impressive that they, that they did that for 2 full albums as opposed to just a normal one. Because they seem like well conditioned enough to go up and play a full album without really thinking about it. But two straight hours of it that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it's so much music. It's so much music in that span of time.
I didn't know they had a cover album. The Anatomy of.
Yeah.
And they cover, I just have the Wikipedia up. These are the bands that they cover: Sepultura, Metallica, Blind Melon, Motley Crue, Queen, King Crimson, Soundgarden, Faith No More, Pantera, Pink Floyd, Depeche Mode, Earth Crisis, one of my personal faves, and the Smashing Pumpkins. And I know Tommy Rogers has talked about the Smashing Pumpkins being a big influence on him. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I love Smash. Now that I can no longer see you,
I was just it's making me. I'm trying not to laugh just because I'm just talking at a black screen now. Slowly pitch black.
Yeah, it's so great.
You should leave it in like that. Fuck
yeah, I should definitely do it. Okay, I think I might. Just like, what happened? What happened to Mike? Just replace you with a photograph at the end. I can see little bits. It's great. I can lighten you up a little bit. It'll be fine. So final thoughts on the Grand Rapids show, protest, BTBAM. What did you think? Was it good? Was it a good show? Would you have been like, yes, friends, you should have come to this show?
Yeah, absolutely. This was this would have been a show I would like at any point in the last 20-ish years would have like really loved to see. And so it was cool to see Protest is like absolutely one of my favorites. But then to see, BTBAM, who I love as well, like on a show together and see like the differences between the 2 types of bands is really cool.
Yeah.
But all the material they played was great. I would, if you're into progressive metal, definitely get tickets for this show.
If you're still thinking about it, there's a lot of shows left to go. And if you haven't been, I would highly recommend it. It's a great show.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend that.
I'll do it again. You get to go to Chicago, and
I do.
I really wish I was able to go see that one as well.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna do the Chicago show on the 17th. That'll be the Tilsonburg shows weren't really on this tour. Those were like warm up headlining sets. But yeah, I'm lucky because I get to go see him again I'm bummed because I won't be in Toronto. I usually love to hit the Toronto shows at the end of tour, because like that's like their homecoming and like put on the biggest thing, and it's at, you know, and I think who are they're playing 2 shows in Toronto with Boys Night Out. Ugh, can't believe I can't go to those shows. Like, it's fuck. It's so frustrating. But I have to have a job and I have to have a paycheck, and it's non-negotiable right now for me. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up.
All right.
So, Guitarzan, I can't see you, but I assume you're still there.
I'm right here, fella.
Okay, good. Now go eat shit, and go. Oh my God, I fucked it up.
You got it.
I did what everybody else says. Go eat shit and go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I will, and I hope you as well get to go eat shit and fuck yourself.
Okay.
And thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And thank you to anybody left still listening.
You can also pick a picture from your...
Is he she?